Eloise Rayner is a singer-songwriter from Sydney, and Zara Lindeman is a singer-songwriter from the Riverina region of New South Wales. They attended the Academy of Country Music together and have recorded a new song, Fallin for a Cowboy. There's a snippet of it on Eloise's Instagram, so we have a little teaser, and it sounds like a good one. I'm going to ask them about it. Hello, Zara, and hello, Eloise.
Hi, Sophie.
It's great to meet you and to talk about this song, because the snippet is very intriguing. So I want to hear the full thing, but I'm going to start by asking, did you actually meet for the first time at Academy?
Yeah, we did. Yeah, we sure did. Yeah.
And did you click from the start?
Yeah, I think so, but it wasn't until like we get put in groups at Academy and you have mentors. And so we got in the same group, and it was probably it's a very intense, it's great, wonderful experience, but it's also very intense. And I think it was like a few days in at this point, and Zara and I bonded on the fact that we were just so overwhelmed. And I think since then we sort of just clicked. Once you had that sort of emotional conversation.
So was this last year? Because I couldn't find out which year. So 2022.
No, 2023.
2023, so January this year, so because there probably wasn't one last year. I had a little visit to the Junior Academy a few weeks ago, and so I had a glimpse, because I got to speak to the group and I got to see some rehearsal and see a bit of what was going on, and have a distinct impression of how full on it is, because that was on the Thursday. I think they'd started on the Sunday or the Monday, and everyone's eyes were on stalks, and I just thought, this is intense. So yes, the group's you're writing songs with some of the artist mentors, you're rehearsing, it's pretty full on. So Zara, what prompted you to decide to go to Academy at this point in your career?
It was really just the next step for me. I really wanted to learn from industry professionals that know what about the industry, that are in the industry. And it was a fantastic experience, and I pretty much just felt like it would be a fantastic place for me to meet people, and here we are. So it was about meeting people and learning more about a craft that I love doing. So that's pretty much fun for me.
And Eloise, have you been thinking of going for a while, and COVID prevented you from going earlier?
Yeah, I think Zara was the same. I think we got in to do it the year before, but then it was unfortunately cancelled because of COVID. So it got pushed back to this year. But I had been thinking about it for a while, more because I am doing a postgraduate degree at uni at the moment, and my music stuff's sort of been on hold because of that. And I've just decided that during those 2 years of doing that degree, that I just really, instead of doing all the music promoting and recording and that sort of stuff, I just really focused on the craft of songwriting and get that right. And then hopefully by the time I was done, I could start releasing stuff.
Speaking of songwriting, you two actually started writing Fallin for a Cowboy while you were at Academy. For all I know, you actually finished it while you were there. So what was the story behind the construction of it? Who had the idea first, or was it a prompt from one of the mentors during a session?
Yeah, it's like one of my favorite stories, actually. We were driving back to the motel, and I sort of said to Zara, hey, I can't believe there's no song called Fallin for a Cowboy, like country song. And she was like, oh yeah. And we just went, it's just so inspirational being at Academy. All your creative juices are flowing. Yeah. And Zara was like, let's go write it. Yeah. And we just sat on my gross motel floor. It pretty much just flowed out. It kind of fell out in a way, where we were just bouncing off each other, and we were laughing, and there were, all these ideas kind of coming out. I think there were a few lines where we kind of had to jot down some just ideas there, and then we were like, oh, let's just keep going, because it just would keep flowing. So We have a line that we like used as a filler line, and we're like, we'll come back to it, but for now we'll keep it as that, but just keep writing because the flow is so good.
Yeah.
And every time that filler line would come up, we would laugh, and we decided in the end, we have to just keep it.
Yeah.
Funny not to get rid of. Yeah.
So your first instincts were the correct ones. It wasn't a filler line at all. It was the right line. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and yeah, it's true. You would think there'd be a song called "Fallin" for a Cowboy already out there, but you know, I don't know if you were doing keyword research, Eloise, or how you came to realize that, but well played.
Yeah. It'd been on my mind for a long time. I was like, and I don't know, it was just the perfect moment for the song. Yeah.
Yeah, right. So did you actually finish writing the whole thing while you were there, or is this something that you've been going back and forth with each other for a while?
I think we had a FaceTime.
Yeah.
We had like one to finish it off, just to kind of.
I think we had everything though. It was just like putting it in the right.
Yeah, and it was kind of more structure.
Yeah.
Things like that. Yeah, we pretty much did it. It was pretty much started and finished there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because some songs you write, it's like, I find it's like the first verse might just come out and the rest of it's like pulling teeth, and you never feel like it's as good as your first verse, and you're like, and you don't want to finish it, but this song just like fell out literally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And was it then an automatic decision for you to record it together? Because of course you could have had a tussle over who got to do it as a solo artist.
Yeah.
It wasn't
well, it was.
Zara was going to do it originally. And then we just had a few comments about how fun it sounded as a duet, and because it is quite a funny, fun song, and I think we both had sort of fallen in love with it at that point. We were like, why not just do it together?
Yeah. So it came together pretty quickly that we were going to do it together.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And I guess then it was a matter of logistics and finding the time. Yeah. So obviously the song and your friendship is a great big couple of things to take from your time at Academy, but what else for each of you was the biggest thing you took away from that time?
Oh gosh. I definitely say just like a lot of reassurance that what you were doing and you were on the right track. And I think that helped with my confidence. Like, there's some of my favorite songwriters there, and they had like lovely things to say, but they're also honest. Like I have a horrible habit of playing guitar without a pick, and that Lynn and Roger tried to drill it into me. Eloise, why are you not playing with a pick? But then there's other things where people say like that song that you wrote, I love it, and I think that's what I took away from it, is that just keep going, and like you're on the right track, I guess.
Yeah.
And for you, Zara?
Well, there was just so much information. There was like so much great information to get from the Academy, and it was a learning curve, really being there and being surrounded by people that have the same love for music and that type of thing. I think being in an environment like that is just incredibly inspiring. Like that's really at the end of the day. So there was like a lot of this is just the type of thing where it's probably an experience that will be with us for the rest of our lives.
And the business side of things too. So much info on like copyright and things you wouldn't think of.
They pack a lot in to, because what is this? I think it's not even a week, and it just seems like you all learn so much.
Yeah, ours were 10 days. I think the junior was a bit shorter.
Okay, right, that makes sense.
It was intense, and because
lots of information, but very good information.
Yeah. No, I think it's I so admire the whole structure of Academy, and so I'm always happy to talk about it. But Eloise, why do you play your guitar without a pick? Is this something you've always done?
No, it's actually not something I've always done. I think I've been quite a rebellious guitar player in the sense that when I like my 10th birthday, my dad got me a hot pink guitar off eBay.
Ooh.
And I bedazzled it. And so
As you should.
and he put me in guitar lessons because my dad's a drummer. And I did not want to sit through guitar lessons where they're like, learn this song. And I'm like, no, I just want to learn this Taylor Swift song. And so I ended up being very disengaged in guitar lessons and going home and just teaching myself the songs I wanted to play. And yeah, I think sort of I did originally use a pick, and then over time, I don't know, I just feel more comfortable with that one. Yeah.
Well, and look, I don't think that every guitarist in the world does use a pick. So
no. And my
right.
argument is that some of the I think it's Clapton didn't use a pick. I could be wrong, but some very, very famous guitarists, and that's, you don't have to. I'm like, well.
So when you got that hot pink guitar, was that actually your first guitar, or had you already been playing?
No, that was my very first guitar. Yeah, I wish I kept it, honestly. I know, I gave it away, and I got another one, but yeah.
And Zara, for you, did guitar come before voice and songwriting?
No, so singing actually was first, and then guitar, and then songwriting.
Right.
Yeah, that was kind of the order for me. I didn't have a hot pink guitar, but I had this little guitar that I actually still have, and its strings have not been changed, and they're like all frayed, and
shame.
it's like this little nylon string guitar that's, you know, seen better days, but very sentimental, you know.
Yeah, well, clearly Eloise has no sentimentality at all because she got rid of the bedazzled guitar. Shocking. So Zara, when you started singing, was that just because you had a talent for it that was like a parent identified and put you into lessons, or you just enjoyed doing it?
I suppose I would just sing around the house, and I just really loved singing, you know. I was just like, would just sing around the house while doing whatever I'm doing. And so I think Mum asked me, would you like to do some singing lessons? And I'd done some other music lessons before that, and I was like, yeah. And then that's kind of that's where it started for me at about I actually can't even remember what age it was. But I was young. Yeah, I was like single digits young, but it was really just have loved it, you know, loved music and everything. Yeah.
And did you pick up guitar because you wanted to be able to play and sing at the same time?
Yeah. So also my eldest brother plays guitar, and so it was kind of, I'd see him play guitar and I'd be like, oh, I'd love to do that. Like I want to be able to do that. So getting into guitar lessons, that was a very exciting time in year 5, and you know, got my little guitar.
Yeah.
Got my little guitar that I still have that has the frayed strings on it. So yeah.
And Eloise, when did you start to sing, and was it so you could sing Taylor Swift songs?
No, I think similar to Zara, I would just sing around the house. I actually have this like vivid memory of the first time realizing that I probably could sing was cleaning out my guinea pig's cage, of all things, with my brother, who's younger than me, 3 years younger than me. And I was like, I was cleaning out, and I must have been singing. He said, do you know you can actually sing? And I was like, oh. And it sort of like started from there. But I never had lessons. I just picked up a guitar and started writing songs. Yeah.
And look, brothers don't give compliments that often. So
that's why I was so like, whoa, he's not usually we're at each other's necks, but yeah.
So you both, you're working in the country music genre, and Taylor Swift obviously can be an influence in that genre, and I think she's been a great influence for so many young female artists in particular, just from an inspiration point of view. But were there other artists who you found formative? So Zara, I'll ask you first. Who are your biggest influences musically?
Look, I grew up listening to a mixture of music, but two of the CDs that we had in the car that, you know, Mum would switch between times table songs, and then once I'd done my times table songs, I'd then get to listen to Casey Chambers
Right.
for album box set of
Right.
and also Missy Higgins.
Right. Okay.
And, The Sound of White, and I don't know, that was where I just begged Mum after I'd done my times tables to be listening to those amazing women.
So now that every time you hear a Casey Chambers song, do you start doing 4 times 4 is 16, 4 times 4 is... Are they forever linked?
I don't think my brain finds the correlation between the two, but it's just the memory.
Yeah. And Eloise, who were your influences?
I mean, growing up, my dad's a crazy Beatles fanatic. So he's more rock and roll because he's, you know, into drumming and all that sort of stuff. So things from the Beatles, but then I think also like a lot of Fleetwood Mac, but then he would go to like Deep Purple and like quite different and quite a broad range of stuff. But my dad used to make me little like CDs with like all the songs that I liked as a kid.
Yeah.
Still have one. And I think this is why we can, like, Zara and I can songwrite so well. It's because our musical inspirations are quite similar.
Right.
And so my CD had Not Pretty Enough on it, and Scar off The Sound of White, and a song off The Sound of White called The River. But yeah, just so Missy Higgins and Casey Chambers are big ones for me as well. But yeah, it's interesting. Like, we'll be playing songs in the car, and Zara's like, I can't believe you know this song. And I'm like, I can't believe you know this song. And I think that's why it works so well. Yeah. Yeah.
So apart from Fallin for a Cowboy, have you written other songs together?
Yeah, we have. Yeah.
Okay. About 5 minutes ago, we were having a go at it before we jumped on this call with you. We just have fun with it.
Yeah. And we've written some, and Zara's recorded, like done a demo for one just that we've written, but just for her. So it's good to also just like write for one of us as well.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's an interesting consideration, I guess, is whether you do a whole joint project, you know, more songs, EP or album, or whether you just now you found this lovely songwriting connection, whether it can be that, but it can also be for each of you individually.
Yeah. I think we thought about it, and I mean, it hasn't been easy coordinating everything for this song. Because Zara is in Denny and I am in Sydney. And like, you're busy, I'm busy.
There's a large distance,
you know,
but at the same time, we do love writing songs together and everything. So I suppose there's a bit of a question mark there as to whether like it's open for possibility type thing. It's where the future.
And our voices
leads.
do go together very well. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Well,
so
things to consider, absolutely. But Zara, yes, you've released some singles on your own, so I can see where you're going in that direction with something. And Eloise, as you said, you were waiting to release some music just because you're studying at the moment. When you've written songs together, apart from the one you just wrote 5 minutes before this call, do you use Zoom or do you far prefer working in person?
If we can work in person, we will. Yeah. So if like I'm down in Denny for something, or you know, Zara's in Sydney, we will. But yeah, like Zoom is fine too.
Yeah.
Jumping on FaceTime, like I suppose it still works. We can still actually be really productive on those different platforms, but at the same time, nothing quite like holding a guitar and writing some lyrics together. So just in person.
Well, may I suggest, since the Denny Ute Muster is coming up, that Fallin for a Cowboy may have a sequel song about someone you meet at the Denny Ute Muster. Who knows? Or Fallin for a Ute driver. I don't know.
Look, you can suggest it for sure.
But you're not going to the muster for that. No.
No.
Have you actually played at the muster since it's in your hometown?
Yes, I have. Yeah, I have. I played on the day stage last year, and this year they have given me a spot on the main stage.
Oh, fantastic.
So excited about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Eloise, will you be going for that, or have you been in the past to the Denny Ute Muster?
No, I haven't been to the Ute Muster actually, but yes, I will be going this year. So yeah, that's really exciting. Yeah.
Well, and I guess you also now have to look forward to Tamworth, because it's, even though it's July when we're speaking, end of July, these things do take some planning and time. So are you looking perhaps to do some joint shows or anything like that at Tamworth or other places?
See, it actually, there's been talk about us actually doing some, shows or traveling together and doing gigs and doing that type of thing. Tamworth, I haven't even got to that brain yet, if I'm completely honest. It's we haven't really spoken. Yeah.
No. Well, this is your 4-month warning.
Thank you.
Now, at the time we're speaking, as I said, you just recorded this song, so presumably you have some release plans. Do they involve a video?
Yes, they do indeed. Yeah. Really fun video. Yeah. I went down to Denny with Zara to visit Zara, but she also had a gig at the rodeo. And we had a camera. That's what I'm gonna say.
That's
okay.
There was some footage taken. Yes.
Well, that sounds like a very good way to maximize your time and opportunities.
It's been really fun. And there's more. It's still in the planning process. As in, well, no, not in the planning process, the actual creating process. But yeah, we'll see how it all turns out.
Well, as I said, I'm looking forward to hearing the recorded song and whatever else you two come up with. I have a feeling it will be very interesting, whether it's separate or together, and probably a combination of both. Eloise Rayner and Zara Lindeman, it's been great to talk to you.
Thank you so much for having us.